Welcome to the spoken tutorial on vegetarian recipes for 6-month-old babies. In this tutorial, we will learn Introduction to Complementary Feeding and how to prepare vegetarian recipes such as black-eyed beans puree, pumpkin puree, ragi porridge, sorghum porridge, and spinach leaves puree. Before we begin, it is important to remember that exclusive breastfeeding is recommended for the first 6 months. After completion of 6 months, breast milk is not enough for the baby. Therefore, along with breastfeeding, the baby should be fed home-cooked food too. It is known as complementary feeding. While introducing a complementary food to the baby, start one food at a time. It will help to find if the baby is allergic to any food. Once the baby gets comfortable, start giving the combination of ingredients. Initially, start with 1 tablespoon twice a day, then gradually go up to 4 tablespoons twice a day. Apart from these, while preparing the baby's food, always use local, regional, and seasonal ingredients. Please do not add salt and honey in baby's food till she turns 1. Also, do not add sugar and jaggery until the baby is 2 years of age. After completion of 6 months, the baby requires up to 200 calories of energy from complementary foods. Only well-cooked and pureed form of the food should be given. Let's begin with our recipes. But before that, keep in mind, one can use breast milk, coconut milk, or boiled and cooled water to make the following recipes. The first recipe is black-eyed beans puree. To make it, we will need 1 tablespoon of sprouted black-eyed beans or cowpeas. Note that the procedure of sprouting has been explained in another tutorial of the same series. Start the preparation by gently washing sprouted black-eyed beans. Take out these beans in a steel container and soak it for an hour or 2. Then gently remove the outer cover by rubbing between fingers. Separate the outer covers and take out these beans in a steel pot. Add water until the beans get covered. Keep this steel pot in a pressure cooker. Cook it until 4 to 5 whistles. Remove it from the flame and allow it to cool for some time. Now, gently separate cooked outer covers if there are any. And make a puree of boiled beans using a mixer or a stone grinder. Add a little amount of boiled water or the remaining pressure cooked water. And the black-eyed beans puree is ready. This black-eyed beans puree is rich in protein, phosphorus, iron, zinc, and magnesium. To make such purees, you can also use any locally available alternatives such as moth beans, Bengal gram, yellow peas, red lentils, green peas, kidney beans, chickpeas, horse gram, etc. The second recipe is pumpkin puree. For that, we require 250 grams of yellow pumpkin. And for the preparation, take cleaned and washed pumpkin, remove the seeds, dice it in small pieces, then cook it in a steamer for around 15 minutes. Remove it from the flame and let it cool for some time. Now, make a puree of this cooked pumpkin using a mixer or a stone grinder. The pumpkin puree is ready. This pumpkin puree is a source of vitamin A, folate, choline, potassium, and sulfur. If pumpkin is not available, then other vegetables used are green pumpkin, white pumpkin, etc. Now, we will see the third recipe, which is ragi porridge. For that, we will require 1 tablespoon of ragi powder. Please note that ragi powder is different from ragi flour. For this recipe, we need ragi powder. Therefore, we will first see how to make ragi powder. To prepare it, firstly soak the ragi for around 9 to 12 hours. Remove it in a strainer and rinse it thoroughly using water. Let all the water drain out. Then tie it in a clean cotton cloth. Keep it aside till it sprouts. This process is called germination. After that, dry it in the sunlight for a day or two. Then roast it on a low flame for about 10 to 12 minutes. Remember, continuous stirring is required. This entire process will reduce the phytic acid from the food. Now, make a powder of it using a mixer or a stone grinder. We can store this powder for a week in an airtight container in a dry, cool place. Next, to make ragi porridge, take 1 tablespoon of this ragi powder. Add boiled and cooled water or other alternatives as explained earlier. Mix it well to avoid lumps. Cook this mixture for about 7 to 10 minutes on a low flame. Add little amount of water during cooking if required. It will bring down the consistency of porridge. But make sure the consistency of the porridge should not be thin or watery. The ragi porridge is now ready. This ragi porridge provides various nutrients such as protein, calcium, iron, potassium, and sulfur. The fourth recipe is sorghum porridge. For that, we will require 2 tablespoons of sorghum powder. And to make the powder, soak the sorghum in water for 7 to 8 hours. After which, put it in a strainer and rinse it thoroughly with water. Let all the water drain out. Now, tie it in a clean cotton cloth and keep it aside till it sprouts. Dry this sprouted sorghum under the sunlight for a day or two. Roast it on a low flame for 10 to 12 minutes. Then grind it and make a powder of it. We can store this powder for a week in an airtight container in a dry, cool place. Take 2 tablespoons of this sorghum powder in a bowl. Add 4 to 5 teaspoons of boiled and cooled water or other alternatives as mentioned earlier. Mix well to avoid lump formation. Now, cook this mixture on a low flame for 4 to 6 minutes and the sorghum porridge is ready. Note that the sorghum porridge is rich in protein, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, selenium, sulfur, and iron. The fifth recipe is spinach leaves puree. To make spinach leaves puree, we require 2 cups of washed and trimmed spinach leaves and 1 teaspoon of ghee. Procedure: heat 1 teaspoon of ghee in a pan. Add washed and trimmed spinach leaves. Saute it for 5 to 7 minutes on a low flame. Now take out these sauteed leaves on a plate and make a puree of it using a stone grinder or a mixer. Now our spinach leaves puree is ready. Spinach leaves are a source of vitamin A, folate, vitamin C, iron, magnesium, and calcium. One can use any locally available leafy vegetables to make such kind of puree. For example, red amaranth leaves, drumstick leaves, radish leaves, fenugreek leaves, and mustard leaves. This brings us to the end of this tutorial. Thanks for joining.